Nikola! Let's go, baby. What a fun game. What a fun win. What a fun 3.5 quarters, kind of, because that first quarter was a bit dicey. I'm not going to lie to you. Now, I personally wasn't too scared because when the Heat were down 16, I did throw $100 on the Heat money line. Yes, I did live bet them to win because I had some confidence on this team. So I did make a little bit of money on the anonymous player prop betting app that does not sponsor me, so I will not say their name. But hey, if y'all like this video and subscribe and help me grow the channel, maybe I can get some sponsors one day. But anyways, I don't care about the money. I'm just glad that the Heat got a win because it's something that, of course, us as Heat fans needed very much after the last couple days with all these Jimmy Butler trade allegations. Of course, you had Shams saying Jimmy wanted to go to the Warriors or Rockets or Mavericks, and then yesterday it was the Suns, and then you had Bernie Lee's, Jimmy Butler's agent, completely refuting all those reports. But I just posted a video on that yesterday with Jimmy Butler's response. I have a YouTube short talking about the Bernie Lee stuff. So if y'all are interested in that situation, go check that out because I don't really want to make this too much of a Jimmy Butler video. Although he did come into today with orange hair, which, of course, some people found very funny. Now, I typically love the troll that is Jimmy Butler. I think it's hilarious, but I am nervous that maybe Jimmy does want out. So I don't know if he's completely kidding or not with the orange hair stuff. And for those of y'all that aren't familiar, there was a funny tweet going around these last couple of days saying that this year Jimmy dyed his hair blue, red, and then yellow for the Mavericks, Rockets, and of course the Warriors. And then the Phoenix Suns stuff came out yesterday. So Brady Hawk quote tweeted that initial tweet and said, "Watch Jimmy dye his hair orange tomorrow." And then we saw Jimmy Butler post on his story like 5-6 hours before the game that he did in fact dye his hair orange. So a lot of people found that funny. I admit it was humorous, but I just wanted to see Jimmy Butler come into tonight and play very, very well, and more importantly, get a Heat win. Now, we'll get into Jimmy Butler's performance. It certainly didn't jump off the stat sheet at you, but I'm not going to read too much into it. But anyways, coming into today, of course, a game that the Heat had to win to continue their 3-game win streak. They were going against an already bad Toronto Raptors team that was missing Scotty Barnes. We already lost to this team, missing several players like a couple of weeks ago. You had to get this win. They said Jakob Poeltl was going to be out. He didn't start, but then he ended up coming to the game a couple minutes later. And that guy kills the Heat. I would like for the Heat to have a guy like that on our roster. Someone who's just big, because between him and Grady Dick, I'm not going to make the Dick jokes that were all over Twitter. It's too easy. But between the big and Dick, and see, there you go. I just did make the joke. Anyways, between those two, Poeltl and Grady, they were killing us in the first quarter. Almost all of the Raptors' buckets was inside of the paint, and I guess that's not surprising because Eric Reed mentioned 1,000 times that all the Raptors do is score in the paint. They are one of the best teams in the league with regards to scoring paint points, and I can tell because they were absolutely killing us in there. That's how the Raptors got up like 16 so quick, and I'm saying, damn. If only the Heat had a 7-foot athletic stud that has shown that he's a really good shot blocker in the paint. Here I am getting frustrated that Khalil Ware was once again not checking into the game when the Heat are getting dominated in the paint. But wait, Eric Spoelstra said, I have another 6'10" big man sitting on that's been sitting on my bench that can check into this game and perhaps make a difference. And his name is Nikola Jovic, and boy, did he make a difference. The little sweetener, as my guy Brendan Tobin likes to call him, was definitely very sweet today because in his first half minutes, which he played 8 first half minutes, Nikola Jovic was a plus 23. He was all over the place, came into the game immediately, dropped his shoulder, put his body into the paint. He had 11 points, a perfect 3 of 3 shootings. He hit 2 triples, got to the free throw line for 4 attempts. He was awesome. In addition to Drew Smith, oh my God, time and time again, this guy continues to outshine himself, and I feel so disgusting that I once wanted him off the roster, but it wasn't just me, it was all of you watching too. Except for like 4 of you. And I know who you are. And I want to just say out loud that you were right about Drew Smith. And I should have been listening to you because he's awesome. And stop asking me for a Drew Smith apology. I promise you I will get a Drew Smith official apology video out at some point this season, maybe soon. I want to put some effort into it. I don't want to just rush an apology, because apologies got to be heartfelt. You got to mean it. So I want to wait till I actually have some time to make that video. But it will be out there, because he was awesome today. Coming into the game, he had a great drive. Should have been an and one, but laid it in. Hit a three-pointer in the corner, so he's spacing the floor. I think he had like 7 first-half points. Had a half-court lob to Jimmy Butler. Drew Smith, the guy who we already know is sensational on defense, is now a decent offensive contributor. Or maybe not even decent, but he's not a liability out there. He's a capable offensive player. And if he keeps giving you that, then my God, he'll be a guy that needs to play 30-plus minutes a night now and in the playoffs. I mean, I think Drew Smith did finish with 33 minutes tonight. Yeah. So he was literally your second highest minute player tonight, behind Bam Adebayo's 34.5 minutes. Drew Smith got you your second most minutes on this team. And then obviously defensively, forcing turnovers from all different areas of the court. Forced a backcourt violation on Grady Dick because he couldn't handle the pressure. He also forced an offensive foul on another player because he was hounding him. And the Toronto Raptors guy warded him off with his arm. Just sensational defense from Drew Smith. I think the Heat were up like 5 or 6 or so at halftime. And to be honest, they never really looked back. In that third quarter, you got some super hot shooting from Tyler Hero. And then for the rest of the game, really, Bam Adebayo was absolutely making Jakob Poeltl his son. We'll keep it PG over here, which is what I wanted, man. I said many times on this channel, especially after the last time they played the Rockets, Bam has to dominate these big, lumbery, slow-footed centers. And last time he played Jakob Poeltl, I said, why can't you attack that, Bam? He is slow. And boy, did Bam realize that today. He came down the court. He hit a 3 on him. Then he came down the court, pulled the transition 3. Didn't make that one, but I like the aggressiveness. Shoot it before he can get to you. Bam had another one where he got in his bag in the mid-range, did a little crossover, step back midi. Cash was attacking on him, driving in the paint, was even bodying him. So Bam was using his strength too. It's not like he was taking all jumpers. Poeltl was flying all over the place. Bam was finishing in the paint, and it was just a beautiful performance from Bam Adebayo, who absolutely stuffed the stat sheet with 21 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, and then, got you a 3-pointer today as well. So Bam is stringing together these great games, man. And it makes me excited because when this team is clicking the way they are now, I believe they can beat anybody in the league. I really, really do. But yeah, I mean, pretty much an easy game in the second half, so not too much direct stuff to say. So we'll go through the box score a little bit here. And we got to start off by talking about Jimmy Butler, who, if Heat fans didn't watch the game, of course, the first thing they're going to do is check the box score to see how Jimmy did after all this stuff. Now, they might be a little concerned because Jimmy only took 8 shots, made 3 of them, which is not great. And he finished with 11 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. So the numbers aren't great, but I'm cool with what you got from Jimmy Butler today. And let me tell you a couple reasons why. For one, he did get to the free throw line 8 times. He only made 5 of them, which is not good, but he got to the free throw line 8 times. So the numbers would tell you that he was at least aggressive in spurts. And I also noticed that to start the game as well. I was worried we knew this game was going to go one of 2 ways for Jimmy. So one, I was worried he might legitimately be angry with all this stuff and be distracted. Not that I thought he would be distracted, but it was a possibility, right? And coming to this game not aggressive, or he was going to say, hey, I'm going to try to put my head down and score to show these people that I want to win here. And in the first quarter, he wasn't great. I think he might only had a couple of points, but there was several possessions where he got the ball and looked to attack. There was a lot of times I felt like he went up and could have got fouled and they didn't call it, or there was some other times where he did collapse the defense and pass out. So just from an eye test perspective as well, in addition to the free throws, I do feel like Jimmy Butler was being relatively aggressive enough, as much as you needed him tonight, right? Because even from a minutes standpoint, another reason I'm okay with the performance you got from Jimmy Butler today in the box score is he only played 29 minutes. I believe he sat out the entire fourth quarter, and the reason's just because they didn't need him. The Heat were up 20. I know they only ended up winning by 10, but the game never really got too close because anytime Toronto tried to make a little bit of a run, you had a nice basket from Jovic or Bam or Jaime Jaquez got into the action, so you never needed Jimmy to really check back in, so I'm cool with that. And the good news is they do have several days off before their next game, and Jimmy Butler usually plays very well off of rest. Their next game is versus the Pistons, another game they need to win, but the Pistons are a much better team than the Raptors, so you will need obviously a better rested Jimmy then, and I do think we're going to get that because, yeah, that game's on Monday. So you literally got 3 days off, which will be beautiful for Jimmy Butler. But moving down the rest of the box score here, you also got Haywood Highsmith hit 3 triples today. That is beautiful because you also get the great defense from him. I feel like he guarded RJ Barrett very well. Barrett, a guy who notoriously kills the Heat. This season, I think he's averaging like 31 points per game versus Miami. Well, today, RJ Barrett was held to 13 points. Now, yes, he did have a triple-double, but he only shot 5 of 18 from the field. Highsmith had a beautiful block on RJ. RJ got mad, started yelling at the ref, resulted in a technical foul, so the Heat hit the free throw there. So Haywood was all in his business today, really frustrated RJ, and I thought that was great because, again, RJ usually kills us, and with no Scotty Barnes, I thought he was going to be in for one tonight, but he was held relatively in check. Of course, we talked about Bam Adebayo, so shout out to him again. I think this is like his 5th straight game with 5 assists, so they really are using him as that offensive hub, like to initiate people. People are calling it the Draymond Green role. Well, Bam Adebayo also gave you those 21 points tonight, took 17 shots, so I love it. It makes me so excited because I understand this is a lot to ask for Bam on a every night basis because he's already guarding the best players on the other team. He's your only rebounder. He's your playmaking hub. I want him to shoot 15 to 20 shots a night. It's difficult for him to do that every night, but there will be games where you need it, and I think he's capable. So it's nice of him to show you today that he is, in fact, capable. Duncan Robinson today, after a few hot shooting games in a row, didn't even hit a 3 today, 0 for 2. But he was 4-8 overall. He was fine in limited minutes today. There was just some other guys cooking a little bit more. And then Tyler Hero today, 23 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, shot 9 of 13. That's 69% from the field. He's awesome. Tyler Hero continues to have an all-star season. That was no different tonight. And then, yeah, Drew Smith, man, and his 33 minutes off the bench. Boy, Spoelstra found himself a new favorite guy, man. 11 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, a steal. Hit a 3-pointer today. 6 free throw attempts. Yeah, man. Shout out to Drew Smith. What can I say? Besides, the dude is a hooper. Also listened to him on a couple interviews, actually. 5 Reasons had him on their podcast. My guys Trent and Martell and Amir and Ernest, they had them on their Miami Heat roundtable on YouTube if y'all watch that. And Drew Smith seems like a great guy. Gives a great interview, very humble. They're looking for ideas for a Drew Smith nickname. So if y'all have any ideas, drop it down below. You can't do the Locksmith, unfortunately, because that's Haywood Highsmith. Otherwise, Locksmith would have been great. But anyways, drop your Drew Smith nickname recommendations down below. And then, yeah, no one else really stood out off the bench between Jaime Jaquez, Kevin Love, or Terry Rozier. Although Terry Rozier, oh God, he's frustrating. So many sidestep threes today. So many. He shot 1 for 6. 5 of them were sidestep threes. I hate that shot. But yeah, the last guy, of course, on the bench is Nikola Jovic. 14 points, 4 rebounds, shot 4 or 5. He hasn't played in like a couple weeks now, right? A week, 2 weeks. I don't know the exact amount. And I've been wondering if that's like if he was in Spoelstra's doghouse with regards to behavioral things, because even tonight on the broadcast, John Crotty said that you got to make Spo trust you. And he was talking about Jovic. He said, you got to start, or, you have to make Spo want to play you, meaning show up to work on time, show up early to meetings, last one in the gym. So for Crotty to kind of say that when talking about Nikola Jovic, it makes me think that maybe Jovic wasn't showing the most Heat culture habits. I'm sure he was, working hard, and I don't think he was doing anything bad or super detrimental to the team. But there's a difference between hard work and like Miami Heat culture hard work. And I just wonder if Spoelstra wasn't meeting those high expectations that Spoelstra in the front office sets on these guys, particularly these young guys like Jovic. So I'm wondering if Spoelstra kind of sat him for a little bit to kind of show him like, hey, you got to bust your ass if you want to play. Because I feel like before Jovic was sitting, he was playing well. I feel like he had some good games for the Heat, and then out of nowhere, poof, he vanished. I know he had like an ankle injury, but still, he was out of the rotation. So he obviously earned a spot tonight. The Heat needed some size. Jovic stayed ready, so he didn't have to get ready. and boy, did he make the most of his minutes tonight. And that is super, super encouraging when you talk about a young guy whose confidence could have either been completely shot or a guy who said, you know what, I'm going to go out there and be a dog and show my coach that I deserve these minutes. And that's exactly what Jovic did today. And as a young 20-year-old kid, I have the utmost respect for him for that. Very, very excited with Nikola Jovic. Anyways, that's all I got to say about this video. The next game is in 3 days, so maybe I'll get y'all some content in between. I kind of want to talk about how well this Heat starting lineup has been with regards to a net rating. Maybe we'll get the Drew Smith video in there. Maybe we'll talk some more Jimmy Butler. Who knows? But if y'all subscribe, y'all will be the first ones to know. Make sure to like the video as well and comment, because all that stuff boosts the algorithm so other people can see this channel. That being said, I'll see y'all on the next one. Peace out.
Look, pull up in your city tryna get that dead face. Do it on my own, I don't need no dead weight. Had to kill him off, yeah, I need a head space. You know this homegrown bitch don't offend me.